Hey there, I'm Sean with Camp and Explore Outdoors. A couple weeks ago, I was on a hike and I found a stick that I picked up and used for the rest of the hike to help me get up and down a couple hills. This is it. Didn't look like this when I brought it home. I took the bark off and carved a couple grips in it for my fingers, cut it the right length, just finished it up the way I thought it would be a little more usable and nice for me and last a little longer. So my son saw that and he wants to go hiking as well. So I picked up another stick. I'd like to keep the kids involved in this so they can stick to nature and hiking and exploring and camping and all the good stuff. So today's video is going to be about turning this stick into something that looks a little bit nicer like this. Alright, so the first step would be to get all the bark off. I'm hoping some of it will just chip off nicely. Yeah, that's working alright. It's nice when it has all these different colors underneath. It really accentuated later when you put the clear coat on. And you can kind of create the design yourself by how much or how little you shave off of it. So that takes care of the bark. The next thing I do is take the little saw off my Leatherman tool and cut any little nub off from branches that I feel is sticking out too far. It might get caught on my hands or anything that I wouldn't want it to get caught on. Well, after I take the bark off and the nubs down to the level I'd like, I give it a rough sanding with a power sander. Cleans up all the hard, sharp edges before I get into the hand sanding with the paper. So you can see I just cut out a small area here where his hand should fit right in. There's a little bottom edge for his fingers on the bottom, and then the other side kind of on the top. And then the natural tree branch nub will kind of lock in his thumb. Should hold good for him. So now that I'm done and pretty happy with the carving, I'll get onto the sanding by hand. And I'll start with, I have a 150 grit. It's older, but it just kind of roughs things out and rounds things out. And then after that, I have a 320 grit. It's pretty aggressive 320, so it really gets at it, but it also buffs it nice. Both grades of sandpaper are done. It is pretty darn smooth. Feels real nice on the hands. I really like how the colors come out. And this is after sanding, so it's kind of dull. It's gonna look real neat when the clear coat goes on. Okay, so now that the hand sanding's all done, I hang my stick by a screw in the bottom end of it so that when I'm done, there's no holes in the top end to be visible. And I'll just fill that hole with some more urethane after. I hang it by a string from above just so that if anything drips, it drips to one end and I can sand it off. Just have a really old can of Miniwax urethane. I have no idea how old it is, but it worked for my other stick, so we'll go with that. I try to do a pretty hardy coat for the first one, so it gets time to soak into the bare wood. I'll just make sure I brush out anything that could leave a chunk or a line or a drip. See, it really brings out the color compared to the bare. The dark spots really get darker. I think it looks great when you take a natural wood and just accentuate the color. When I get to the bottom, I can just hold the screw on the top, kind of angle it my way, get the bottom, or the top, that is then. We do at least 2 coats on this one. Well, the first coat dried up just nicely. I actually don't see any drips anywhere that I'll have to cut off and sand down before the second coat. So, straight to the second coat then. You can really see the second coat is bringing out some kind of reddish orange tones. I probably will do the third coat just to see how much more depth you can pull out of the wood. It's really changing. Time for coat number 3. Well, that's the third coat, dried, finished. Time to pull her down. Handle feels nice. Really happy with it. I like this part down here with the contrasts and a little bit of orange here. But overall, it turned out good. And you can see it's fairly easy to just take a normal stick and turn it into something that looks nice and is practical and can be used and make somebody happy. My son's really gonna like this. He can't wait.